Hello, my name is Anita Tonakarngwen, and welcome to the League of Women Voters of Westford video series. This video is a special video where we learn more about who the League is and what we do. So here with me today, we have Laura Dickey, the spokesperson for the League of Women Voters of Westford, and Chris Candianis, the membership specialist. They're going to tell us more about it today. So welcome so much, Chris and Laura. Why don't we start a little bit with just an introduction about yourselves? Chris, would you mind going first, telling us a little bit about why you joined the League and when you joined it?
Certainly. I joined back in 1994. I've been a member for 28 years. I was 12 when I joined. Just kidding. I've been a member a long time, and one of the members at that time called me and invited me to join and told me about a study they were doing on gender equity in the schools. It was a topic I was very interested in because I had an infant at the time. I was interested in learning more about the schools, about the school system, and meeting some of the people in the community. And as I was going to have to be making decisions about my daughter's schooling, I thought it would be a great way to learn more about that. And I am now, for many years, I did very little for the League in terms of commitment. I would just attend annual meeting, and I enjoyed meeting the people that were part of the League and learning about the different projects the League was working on and getting to know more about the town government in Westford.
Great. And Laura, what about you? Would you share a little bit about why you joined and how long you've been a part of the organization?
Sure. I joined in 2005 and because I knew Chris. She was my neighbor and she said, why don't you come to a League meeting? And I went to what we called then a warrant review, which we call town meeting preview now, where we sat and went through all of the articles on town meeting. And I was just so impressed by just the knowledge of everyone at the table. People were just like, oh yeah, let me explain this to you. Let me tell you. And it was just such a great experience. And I ended up joining and have held various offices since then, but have stayed pretty involved since then and really think it's so important that people know about their government and are informed so that they can make good choices when they vote or just to know what's going on in town. So
that's a good membership specialist.
Yes,
grabbing people in. That's why you have that job. Could you tell us a little bit about, the purpose of the League of Women Voters in case people are not familiar with the organization?
Sure. The League of Women Voters, it encourages the informed and active participation in government. It works to increase understanding of major public policy issues and influences public policy through education and advocacy, which is kind of the official term. It basically is also a nonpartisan, this is a very important part, it's a nonpartisan political organization in that it never supports any political party or any candidate. So even though it does advocacy, it focuses on the issues, not on particular candidates. And I'll let Chris elaborate a little bit more on how the League works.
Yeah, so the League operates at two levels or focuses on two main areas. Voter service, for one, and that is informing people about candidates and issues and all the information that you might need to vote. And then the other arm of the League is called program. And there are groups of people at the local level, the state level, and the national level. There are essentially three organizations, but this happens at all three levels, where people study an issue, perhaps gun safety is an issue, healthcare, climate change, and they study the issue and come up with positions on that particular issue so that if something is coming before the legislature to be voted on, they would do advocacy work. They would do outreach to their members to say, write to your congressman to ask them to vote this way on this topic. So at the local level, we have various programs that we're working on, but that also happens at the state and national level as well. And there's some very deep knowledge among league members on specific issues that we've been studying, and they're all really well articulated on the various websites. So I encourage people to take a look at that. So that's what happens at the league, in the league program or advocacy side of things.
And are you paid to do any of this work, or any of the members of the league?
No. It's purely a volunteer organization. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's something that maybe people miss sometimes, that it is purely volunteer, and it's really just that people are really passionate about the issues that you were bringing up, Chris. So, you know, any membership fees that you pay don't go to the organization or paying for this work that you all do. It's really because of the passion that people have in these issues. Chris, could you tell us a little bit more about the projects that are part of voter service, specifically at the local level in Westford?
At the local level, we do things like the town meeting preview, and that's where we would go over the warrant that is the agenda items that are going to come up at town meeting, so that people understand them ahead of time, and people understand why they're on the warrant, and they can get an idea of how they want to vote on them. We have done things like the town meeting guide to town meeting, candidates night, and a companion piece to candidates night is the voter's guide, which gets printed in the newspaper and is available other places, where each candidate answers a set of questions so that you can really get to know and understand their backgrounds and what their mindsets are. We sometimes do mock elections in the schools for in big election years. And one of our flagship events that's been going on for a couple of years now are the civic socials, which happen on the third Wednesday of every month. And it's a Zoom event. And we'll have somebody perhaps from the town talking about a current issue, somebody from school committee, somebody from the select board. And it's informal. Everybody can ask questions and interact with each other. And it's a great way to stay up with what the current issues are that are being discussed and voted on and decided upon by the select board. And it's kind of fun too.
Yeah, I really appreciate sort of the breadth of services and the breadth of activities that the league offers, because you were talking about a resource such as Guide to Town Meeting, where it's just this little booklet that people have once they go to town meeting, if it's annual or special, and it's just almost a resource of, this is what it is, this is how people talk, these are different motions, and it's a really great sort of introduction overview piece. But then you have this league, this monthly civic social, where people are just chatting about, you know, what's happening in town. So I think that's really great to kind of be a resource in depending on how people sort of intake information. Laura, could you talk a little bit about some of the advocacy work that the league has done at the different levels, local, state, and national?
Sure. At the way advocacy works in the league is that we study either at the local, state, or national level. We'll study an issue. Actually, it's a formal process. We're in the middle of one right now of gathering data, looking at both sides, all sides of the issue, coming up with a meeting where you answer questions and try to come to some sort of consensus among your membership as to how we feel, you know, what position we should take on a particular issue. The league has a whole set of them. They're for the local league and the state and national. They're available on the respective websites. And once we have a position on an issue, then we can do advocacy for it. So for example, based on some of our land use positions that we have locally, we've advocated to purchase a conservation restriction on land in town, or based on environmental positions that are at the state level. Particularly, we advocated at town meeting for the polystyrene ban, and also some of the clean energy issues that have come up in town meeting lately. So advocacy can take a couple different forms. Most commonly, it's speaking at town meeting, because that comes up a lot, or letters to the editor or helping to get a petition signed to put a ballot measure on the state ballot. So at the state level, they often go before the state legislature and will testify about the league's position. Like why, for example, right, the biggest one lately has been the increasing the access to voting and same-day voter registration, and just passing that voting bill to increase access to the polls. That's a really key one right now. And climate change as well is pretty. There's a lot of activity, and that at the national level, money in politics is a big one, and just again access to voting rights is going to be the focus going forward. I mean, and they have a whole lot of other issues, but those are the main ones they're focusing on right now.
Great. And so, why should someone join the league?
Well, we've got a few reasons.
It just so happened we came up with the top 10 reasons to join. So I guess I'm going first. Number one reason is you care about voting rights. This is really big right now, and this is happening at all three levels. They're tackling gerrymandering, and there's so many things happening with restricting access to voting that the league is really passionately pursuing, protecting all kinds of voting rights.
Number two is you want to stay informed about your local government. Find out what's going on around you. There's a lot.
Number three, you want to support our efforts to inform voters through town meeting previews.
And number four, you want to support local elections through candidates night.
Number five, you want to connect with other civic-minded residents. This has been a big one for me.
I agree. Number six, you want to support careful study of important issues today.
Number seven, you join three organizations at once. When you become a member locally, you're a member also at the state and the national level, and you support their work as well.
Number eight, you support advocating for better environmental policies in Westford, Massachusetts, and the United States.
Number nine, you want to learn more from experts on public policy advocacy.
And number 10, you believe that the democratic process depends on the informed and active participation of its citizens. So get involved.
Yeah. Democracy is not a spectator sport.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a great, very thorough list. I'm impressed. I'm impressed you came up with it. And so could you share a little bit about, if someone wanted to learn more about the league, where could they go for more information?
Sure. Our website, and on our website, you'll see our upcoming events. You can sign up to receive our bulletin, which is an electronic newsletter we send out generally once a week. There's been just a lot of stuff going on in town and at the state level, and we try to let people know about our events and state events and other organizations that we've partnered with. If they have events coming up, we try to let our members know. We have a Facebook page, which is we reach a lot of people that way. If that's something that you're on a lot, that's, like us on Facebook, and you can sign up to see the posts there. Or come and attend a civic social. They're, as we said, the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30. They used to be in person. Maybe they will be again someday. Right now they're on Zoom, so they're pretty easy to come. If you live on a busy street and you want to put a vote sign in your yard, let us know. And if you're, a member and you want to have a sign reminding people to vote or attend town meeting, we have those. That's a really easy way to sort of just get involved a little bit if you don't want to sign up for any big thing. But just, come to one of our events. The spring is a busy month. Candidates night coming up, and town meeting preview. So those are all good ways to try it out.
I want to chime in too that you don't have to be a member to go to the civic socials. So they're open to everybody. And another question we often get asked is what kind of commitment is required if you become a member? And again, it's as much as you want or as little as you want, and you can stay connected with the organization and can be a vehicle for you to learn and absorb information through our various events, or you can join in on one of our committees and really participate. You could help out with candidates night, but truly you can just be a bystander and learn and observe, or you can jump in. So it's really up to you.
I think I would just add to that also that students have joined the league, and so there isn't an age.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a voting age to be part of it. So it's definitely welcoming to men and women of all ages.
Yes, thank you. I was going to kind of it is. We have lots of members of all genders, so we welcome everyone.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Chris and Laura. I think this has been really helpful. I know a lot of people ask questions about the league in general and just know that there's a lot of activity that you do around the town, but don't quite know sort of these details about what the league is really focused on. So thank you. And for folks who are watching, for more information about the League of Women Voters of Westford, please visit the website, lwv.westford.org. Thanks for watching.
And thank you, Anita, for doing this series. It's great.
Thank you.